it is asking you to recognize who you are now and how that might express itself. So it's about staying open-minded about what the work looks like now. Nobody promised that this was going to be easy.
It's never been promised that it's going to be. In fact, everybody promised it was going to be really, really hard.
Everybody told you.
Everybody told you.
The Working Actor NYC, that's Patrick Richwood.
That's Benjamin House.
This episode of The Working Actor NYC may contain profanity and some adult concepts, so please use your discretion.
What I would love to talk about today, and it doesn't have to be morbid or depressing, but the seasons of an acting career and how to survive the transitions. Like every career has seasons. The problem is no one tells you when one is ending. And we've already put Patrick to sleep. Okay, this is going to be a great episode. I'm so excited.
I'm sad. No, I'm sad because I can't believe I'm a person that now can discuss the seasons of anything. Like, Patrick, what do you think as the elder?
Girl, I've been through them too. What you talking about? You're not alone you're not alone up there.
It's really weird, isn't it? It's like, it's a bizarre thing to step into. You got to step into it, I think. You kind of got to step into it.
I think of it as bizarre. I guess perhaps it has taken me as by surprise because that's the problem. The problem, every acting career has seasons. The problem is no one tells you when one is ending. There's a moment when you realize, oh, that role isn't for me anymore. And it doesn't have to be a tragedy. It doesn't have to be.
No, but every time I've had that experience, not so much anymore because I've had so many of them now, but every time I go, oh, I have to take that off my bucket list, it does hit me. It hits me right in the gut for a minute. And I'm like, not because I'm like, oh, now I'm old and it's over. It's not a finite feeling. It's more like a, wow, I didn't see that coming. It's kind of like when you look up at and it's an hour later in the day, then you realize it was. It's like, oh, you know?
I don't know if this is a sort of, perhaps this has molded my ideas about this, but I remember when I was, okay, are we dropping names today? Let's see if we can drop some names. Are you ready? When I was working with Beth Level.
Oh, did you drop this? Let me get it for you. There you go.
When I was working with Beth Level, I remember, and this was, let's be real, 15 years ago, and probably more. And I remember watching her being interviewed and somebody said, oh, what role are you looking forward to? Is there a role that you sort of want to play next? What's the role that you sort of have your eyes set on? And she was very clear. She says, I'm not interested in playing roles that are already created. I'm interested in creating new roles for new shows. And I think that in a way, I have spent some of my career going, oh, I would love to play Javert in Les Miserables. And when that didn't happen, or the MC in Cabaret, I always wanted to play the MC in Cabaret. And when I sort of realized that ship had sailed, I didn't get upset about it because I thought, Beth's onto something. Like, the real excitement is in creating a new role and looking for the new opportunities that I can put my stamp on without it ever having been somebody else's stamp to start with.
I guess I feel like a hybrid of what you're talking about that Beth said. Because I think you can have both. Like I've always been wanting to create new roles in new pieces. That's always the most thrilling parts of my career are those. And yeah. I look for them, and I'll go out of my way. Like I just finished going out of my way and actually sidestepping some auditions for, particularly one thing that I was on the short list for. That was a big deal that would have been paid a lot more and it is a bucket list role on another theater to take this role in this new play in this small space down in Florida and do this new world premiere. And that really pulled me. I thought, well, that other show will be around, and I still have a couple more years I can
to play that role. Yeah.
But I can't. This may never come again, and I'm so glad I did it. It was such a learning experience and such a roller coaster ride, and it was so much fun to ride that wave every night, and it was a
Yeah.
beautifully written role, and I am really grateful for it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. What have been the roles that you're like, oh, I want to play that?
well, I really want to play the man in the chair in the Rousey Chaperone. Speaking of Beth
Yeah.
Level, and to me, that's as individual as the person playing it. I really want to play the Dicequith family in
Oh yeah. Gentleman's Guide.
Gentleman's Guide. Now that's an example of a role that it's defined by the technicalities of it, but it's such a deliciously chewy technical role to play.
Yeah.
I want to play it.
Yeah.
And it's so funny. It's so fucking funny. That show is so great. I want to play Herod, King Herod in Jesus Christ Superstar.
Oh, cool.
I want to play and I'm thinking of roles that I believe are either over 55 or are
okay,
ageless.
but then take me back to take me back a generation or two. Were there roles in your 30s or your 40s that you thought, oh, that's on the list?
Yeah.
That you can remember?
Yeah, but now
I know that was 80
head.
years ago, so you can't.
Yeah, that was like weird. I'd have to go back and look through the sandstone files and see if I can find that particular stone tablet. Let's see. They've all gone out of my head. I'm sure.
Well, that's interesting to me that you can't remember them. Do you know what I mean? How important were they that you can't remember what they?
They were important, but at the
they were
same
important
time,
at the time. But
yeah,
now?
I mean, also you know this about me. I'm a little bit like a dog. I don't miss what's not anymore. Yeah. I mean, I do, but not as much as a lot of people do. Like once I've bade farewell to it, it's like, okay, I can put it in a different way. There are roles that I already played that I realized I'll never be able to play that anymore. Like I remember when when the Seymour Krellborn ship passed from Little Shop, I knew
I'd played it.
I'd played it, and I knew I was going to play it again, but I didn't. I was doing new stuff.
Right. So for me, those roles were Lumiere in Beauty and the Beast. I played over and over. Lord Farquaad in Shrek. I played over and over. And
you could still play Lord Farquaad in Shrek if you wanted to.
Yeah. No, I mean, look, it would take
Lumiere actually.
Well, it would take a leap of faith that the wigs and the costumes and all the rest of it would do the work. But honestly, Patrick, I didn't lose those roles. I aged out of that chapter, and there's grief in realizing that something worked, and also sort of a sense of relief in letting it go.
Is there relief?
Because it's like I don't have to try to recreate some part of myself, and hang on to, oh, this worked really great when I did it at this theater. I should try and use that again. Yes, of course, you can always bring back, the greatest hits. But honestly, what I'm looking for is new territory. Like now, Frank Parker in A Christmas Story, the father in A Christmas Story, is one of my repeat roles. So it's like I can let go of ones that I have loved and enjoyed, and I don't have to spend my whole career just playing the same roles over and over again. That's interesting, but not a journey that I'm gonna die. It's not a hill I'm gonna die on.
Yeah, right. I just realized something. We have a very different experience in one way, which people are always surprised to hear me say this. I don't repeat roles. People don't look at me for some reason and go, he could play that role forever. They don't. They go, I don't know why, but they just don't. And so in my career, I have many repeat directors and many repeat casting directors.
Uh-huh.
I have no repeat roles.
Interesting.
That I could think of.
Everybody likes you too much to tell you that you were terrible.
I know. I've already figured that out. I'm not gonna stir that hornet's nest. I'm just gonna leave it the way it is.
So here's the interesting thing to me is that you and I have been doing this for a long time, and so clearly you and I have have been able to make the transition from one season of our lives to the next and not
Seasons of.
not everybody makes it through the transition, right?
First
Some
of all,
actors don't leave the industry.
yeah, I think
The industry just sort of moves on without them.
there are those of us that are too stubborn to stop. Like, I never want to stop because it's the thing I love
Stubbornness
to
is,
do the most.
yeah, of course. But what's interesting is that your stubbornness to remain in the industry didn't create a stubbornness to remain in the industry in the way that you had been up until that moment. Your imagination allowed you to evolve as you grew as a person. Like, you didn't cling too tightly to the past wins, to the past roles, to the past identity. You allowed yourself to move, to transition from being a Seymour to being a Ben Gunn, from being a
Yeah,
Ben Gunn to being a King Herod. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, you didn't.
I totally understand. I think in my experience dictated that for me. There's two things. I think, tell me if this is true for you too. My experience dictated you're going to be cast in multiple roles in multiple genres. You're going to be in a TV show. You're going to be in a commercial. You're going to be in a
Huh?
movie. Now you're going to be in a comedy. Now you're going to be in a drama. Now you're going to be in a farce. Now, I mean, now you're going to be in a musical. Now you're going to be in a play. And it went like, it's always gone like that.
Right.
So for me, I don't know why. Maybe because it's hard to typecast me. Truly,
But also, you have a brain that wants to move in different directions rapidly. Do you know what I mean? Like, your brain doesn't.
are you
I
saying
think
I'm
that's.
facile-brained, facile-minded?
Yes, you also have ADHD. You know, it's like you don't
That's right. That's
you
right.
don't
And
hang on to
maybe
one
that's true.
thing.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. But I'm saying that it. I can't take all the credit for not hanging on to anything because I feel like that's what my life presented.
Right.
As my experience unfolded from 17 forward, what kept being presented to me is different things. I never seemed to fall into a niche, except into a niche, except for funny. People,
Sure.
I found that if people were going to typecast me, it was, we need a funny guy.
But it's sort of all. So what you're saying is that all of those life experiences taught you not to cling too tightly to one identity, to one particular version of yourself.
Yeah,
It's not like you
it
ever
did.
went into. It's not like you ever went into identity collapse, where because you stopped playing Seymour in Little Shop of Horrors, you were suddenly like, "Oh my God! If I'm not Seymour in Little Shop of Horrors, who am I?"
Right. What do I exist? No, but that's an interesting thing that I've talked about a lot with people over the years about actors in general. Is a lot of actors base their self-worth accidentally or unconsciously on
Uh-huh.
their amount of work.
Yeah.
And the consequence of which is when you're not working as an actor, you don't exist.
Yeah.
And and that's of course not true, but it might as well be, because in your brain, unconscious mind, according to your contract, right, that you accidentally wrote as an actor, if you're not working, you don't really,
Right.
you've
Right. If I'm
disappeared.
not actually, yeah.
And a lot of people will compensate for that without actually addressing that by digging in on doing work of some sort. Like, well,
Sure.
what can I do? They go to classes and they go to workshops and they do they redo their pictures and they learn a bunch of, and all of which is productive. But a lot of times actors are doing it because of that conundrum. They don't even realize that they have it, which is oh my God, if I'm not working or at work on working, I do not exist.
I sort of have an issue with it in the sense that I think those are the ways to continue to identify yourself as an actor, by continuing to, like, it's no good just
Sure.
sitting in your bedroom or watching TV and saying if you're watching TV saying, "Oh, I can do that," or sitting in your bed and saying, "If I think I'm an actor, then I am an actor." Like, go to a class, read a script with your friends.
Yes,
Do you know what I
100%.
mean?
Like, that's why I want to do readings, why I like to do those readings, and why class was so great, and why I want to get back into it, and why I want to start recording some songs and putting them on Actors Access, and just I'm into it. But And I go through waves because of energy, but I'm talking about that percent. I'm not saying it's bad, it's good, but I'm talking about that percentage, that decided percentage of actors who aren't doing it because it's a productive way to be an actor. They're doing it to survive the feeling that they don't exist.
Right.
So they're dog paddling.
I think as you explain it more, I think what I'm getting is that if you can identify yourself beyond being an actor, if you can identify yourself as a husband, as a mother, as as part of a community, as a potter, as a painter, if you can fill out the other parts of your life and it's not just I am an actor, then it's healthier than if you're pursuing all the acting things and that's the only thing you're pursuing. Am I getting to the heart of what you're saying?
I mean, I agree with you. I don't know that I was saying that, but I agree with you. I completely think it's healthy to expand on
because my identity as a human being doesn't rest solely on being an actor.
Right.
I see other things in my life, and yes, I am doing all of the things. I am going to class. I am, getting new headshots. I'm updating my resume. I'm updating my website. I'm doing all of the things. I'm keeping an eye on my visibility. I'm staying in touch with my relationships. Like I'm doing all of the things to keep my career momentum going, but it's not the only thing going on in my life, and it's not my sole identity as a human being.
Well, and also, I want to say also, you're not just doing all the technical things. You're also putting effort into keeping your creative juices flowing and keeping inspired. And those are just as important as getting new headshots or meeting a new casting director. Those are just as important.
Yeah.
Because if you don't wake up feeling like you have something creative to offer, which who does every day, right? But if you don't wake up the majority of the times knowing you're a creator, it's easy to slip into, well, why bother? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You gotta kind of have to have that as a context in the first place.
So specifically towards an acting career, and I would just love to give our audience some helpful ways through that you and I have both learned. For you, it's definitely about making sure that your creativity has an avenue to express itself, whether that's acting or not. And I think for me, it's not hanging on to something that worked in the past. Just because something worked for a while doesn't mean it's supposed to work forever.
Right.
It's
right. Yeah.
Clinging,
there isn't any forever, is there?
Clinging to it is the opposite of craft. It's the opposite of play.
And creative. It's the opposite of creative, isn't it? It's just recreating something. It's trying to recreate something. And
every new season of your life asks a different question of you. And it is asking you to recognize who you are now and how that might express itself. So it's about staying open-minded about what the work looks like now.
That's beautifully said. I mean, what more can we ask of ourselves?
Yeah. There's sort of like a conversation going on with the work that you do. It's like your job isn't to protect an identity, isn't to protect one version of yourself. It's to stay in conversation with the work. I mean, even on a technical level, the industry has changed so much over the last 5 years. Well, 6 years, I guess, since the pandemic. But do you know what I mean? Like, even technically, we have had to stay open-minded about how we do what we do.
Yeah, well, you and I have a lot of people, and we are constantly saying that and expressing that because we both know dozens and dozens of actors who are like, I can't.
Yeah.
It's all fucked now. I can't.
Yeah. Oh my God. Social media. I can't. Oh God. Self-tapes.
Self-tapes. Oh, yeah. Shoot me. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, okay. See, here again, I'm not sorry to harp on it, but I really actually think that the big tool that I'm trying to impart is if one knows exactly what one is at the core, then nothing can stop you.
Yeah, the self-tapes aren't gonna.
It's not gonna stop you. It might be daunting.
Yeah.
It might be, but
initially it might be hard. It might be hard.
It goes
Nobody
back to that.
nobody promised that this was going to be easy.
It's never been promised that it's going to be. In fact, everybody promised it was going to be really, really hard.
Everybody told you.
Everybody told you. And it hasn't been nearly as hard as they told me it was going to be. No, it has. It has been. I think I told you if I ever won a Tony, I'd go up there on the stage and I'd say, "Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. It wasn't worth it. Wasn't worth it." And in fact, speaking of which, there are also, you said, you can't hold on to things that have passed, right? It's also true for things that are, ideals of yours. Like I always had Broadway as my mecca, right? I always wanted to be on Broadway. What got me going as an actor?
Yeah.
Once I knew that's what I wanted to do.
You were really driven by that thought.
I saw that Community on TV every June and for the Tony Awards, and I went, I want to be in that room. That's my tribe, And first time I ever walked into Joe Allen's when I was 16 on one of those school trips, I was like, I found my people, and on and on. And I've only realized in the last, I'm going to say maybe 5 years, I've always been a late bloomer. I don't know if you know that about me.
We are going to do an entire episode about being a late bloomer. Okay. Seriously.
But I've only realized it's like, I need to let go my clutch on that idea because this
is super important. It's like make an inventory of what still feels alive to you. It's not the same goals that you had when you were 20. So, and we've moved on from roles, but sort of career goals,
and things that have driven
still feels alive. And I feel like for you, being on Broadway doesn't feel. It's not that it doesn't feel as alive for you anymore, but you don't clutch it so hard.
It's funny because what really still appeals to me isn't so much the quality of Broadway. Like I don't see
because there's a lot of
runner of theater quality anymore.
It's a lot of stinky shit on Broadway. Yes.
Yeah, it never was. That was just always my idealized version of it. But what still pulls at my heartstrings is all the people that have walked on those stages and filled those rooms with their energy and been and immortalized a moment too many to ever count.
Yeah.
That one legend after another. I never want to see the day that I walk into a Broadway theater and don't still go, oh my God.
Right.
John Barrymore stood right on that very wood right there. And so that real estate still pulls me.
Activates you. Yeah.
It does. And so if I ever get the opportunity and it's the right opportunity,
just to circle back to where we started, you were talking about how your career had always sort of shown you where to head, that you didn't necessarily have to aim for a direction. Your career allowed you, the work showed up for you.
It presented
guiding
itself,
you in different directions. And I mean, the work always tells you where you're headed. If you're listening, if you're open-minded about it, if you're available to it,
if you're open-minded, if you're a yes.
None of this is intended to be, here's how to survive getting older. The point of this is to say, here's how to stay alive to the work as it changes. Longevity isn't about holding on. It's about learning when to release.
Yeah. Well, nobody knows better when to release than you do, but you've made a side career out of that actually, but, cause timing is everything, but it is true, isn't it? When we keep a grasp, like that thing I was saying about Broadway as my mecca, that grasp is so tight.
Yeah.
Well, nothing can live in that grasp. So I had to actually let it go. Not because I'm like, if I let it go, it'll come. No, because it's like, why am I clutching onto that? I'm like, get on with life. Okay. That's not look at all the wonderful things I've done and will do. If that's not one of them, okay.
Right. If it's this the staying curious. If you stay curious, the career stays open. And I guess the other thing to sort of the other thing that sort of is that every season has its own dignity. There's no it was better when or it'll be great when. Every season you're in has its own dignity.
That's a great attitude. I wish I had it.
Well, as you can tell from Patrick's face, dear listeners and viewers, you don't age out of acting, you age into it.
Yada, yada, yada. Blah, 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 whatever. Yeah, Benjamin, it's really
It's
important.
profound. Yeah, I'm profound and important today. Listeners and viewers, if you've enjoyed what you've been a witness to today, please like and subscribe, rate and review wherever you are listening or watching what we got. Please check us out at theworkingactornyc.com or find us on the social medias like the Instagrams or the TikToks or the YouTubes.
Mother wanted me to come out in a kimono, so we had quite a fight.